Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? Thank you for dropping in. So, welcome in to our first live lesson in the 6-week Marching Drummers Challenge. So, we're going to let a few people drop in just over the next few minutes. It's going to start popping up on people's feeds on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. This is the first lesson. So, I've done some live streaming before with my kit lessons, but this is the very first time I've ever done it with any marching stuff. So, let me know that you can hear me okay. Let me know you can see everything okay. And in the comment section today, if you type anything in, if you're watching on YouTube now, or if you type anything on Facebook, it appears on my screen over here. So every now and then you're going to see me having to look over there to read stuff. We've got a couple of people in there kind of having a little scan around for anything anyway. It's kind of helping me out. It's under 18s today in there, so careful what you write. Hopefully you're sat there now with your pad and sticks. If not, grab your sticks, grab your pad, and get ready for the lesson. We'll let a couple more people drop in and I'll tell you what this is all about. I'm just going to check my different screens today. Okay, awesome. We're all good. Okay, right, let's get started. So, 6-week Marching Drummers Challenge. So, what is it? Well, we're on lockdown still in the UK at the moment. I'm a professional musician, so I'm fully on lockdown. There's nothing happening for me at the moment. I'm still doing lessons through Skype, but no one-to-one lessons. And so, what we've decided is that for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to be doing this 6-week Marching Drummers Challenge. Now the idea is I'm going to be giving you as much information as I can to help you improve from wherever you're at today, whether that's advanced or a beginner or somewhere in the middle, to somewhere a lot better in 6 weeks time. So the way we're going to do that is over the next 6 weeks we're going to have live lessons. So these live lessons are going to be going on Saturday at 2 o'clock. The times, we'll chat about it after the lesson a little bit, whether this is a perfect time or not. Some of the Americans, this is a nightmare for them, but for everybody in Europe, this is a good time. YouTube lessons. We're going to be putting lessons up on YouTube, Freestyle Rudiments YouTube channel, which I've got a little link to here, I believe. So Freestyle Rudiments, I've got a YouTube channel now up there. There's lessons up there. There's going to be reviews up there. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. So go and check that out. That's going to be real useful for this. And I'll be putting a lot of information on there. Interviews. Over the next 6 weeks, I've got some awesome guys lined up for interviews. So some real top players, guys who are in the activity at the moment now as well, going to be marching next year. I've done previously and so get the word around. If you've got anyone else who might be interested, let's see if we can persuade some big boys to get in here and give us some knowledge and some discussion. Now the discussion, most of the discussion is going to happen, some will happen here because you can type in and we can discuss things now. So if you have any questions, type it in now. But a lot of discussion is going to happen over on our, I was going to say Marching Drummers area, but it's not that at all. It's the Marching Drummers Lounge. So the Marching Drummers Lounge is a Facebook area on Facebook. So if you go on your Facebook and you type in, like I've just done there, Marching Drummers Lounge, that will appear. And all you've got to do is request to be part of that. Once you're in there, it's a closed group, so we're not going to have any kind of crazy people in there. It's going to be all guys who are interested in the same thing, and that's the Marching Drummers. Now, we're mainly going to be talking in these lessons about the drum corps scene because that's my kind of area of expertise. However, we will cross over a little bit. There's some other stuff that I've learned since doing drum corps to now about all other types of drumming, which really will help some of you drum corps guys. So we'll look at that stuff as well. Who the lessons for? So real briefly, it's going to be from, as I said at the start, beginners all the way to advanced. The idea is just that if we can give you information that you haven't got, and like I said, I'm not stupid enough to think that I've got all the information. There's people far better than me, but I've got a lot of contacts within the drum corps world, especially DCI, who I'm going to try and call upon now to come in and try and get you guys to improve. Now, the best way we can do this is to create a bit of a community going on here. So the more people we get involved, so if you enjoy this and you start to enjoy it today, hit that share button, hit the like button. If you just type in, this is cool, this sucks, or you just do a wave, it helps because the way the algorithm works is Facebook sees that comment and thinks, oh, this must be something interesting. I might share that with somebody else. Let's get everybody in here that's interested in the marching stuff, right? And let's see if we can fill it up. So, lessons. Okay, so the notation from these lessons is all going to be in this Drummers Lounge. So in the Drummers Lounge, the idea is we're going to put the notation that I'm going to give you today in there so you can access it. There's going to be some extra lessons that are not on YouTube in there. So I'm going to be doing stuff particularly for beginners. The schedule is going to be in there, or the schedule. We're looking at doing the Saturday and the Wednesday evening at about 7 on a Wednesday evening, but that may move. There might be occasionally be a Monday in there because someone could do an interview on a Monday. And the main thing is a community. Like, I'm going to keep harping on about this, but we've got to create a community to make this work. I'm going to give you a lot of my time over the next 6 weeks, but there's plenty of guys all around the UK and Europe and the world who've got so much knowledge who are just not really involved in any drum corps activity now. And those guys are going to be in that community. And if you can't do something, go in there and ask. Oh, I'm not very good at paradiddles. Post a video of you doing it, and someone will go in there and go, why don't you try this? I did this, I did that. That's kind of the dream, let's say, all right? So, lesson then. Let's get into the lesson. So today's lesson, we're going to do about 30 minutes of actual teaching, and then there's going to be about 15 minutes at the end where we're going to do a bit of a demo. Now, what I like the idea of these lessons to be is you guys with a practice pad with sticks playing stuff. Now, the problem I've got is that when I'm doing lessons for beginners and advanced guys, if I teach advanced stuff, beginners are going to be lost. And if I teach beginner stuff, the advanced guys are going to be bored. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go back to fundamentals, which means advanced guys, you're going to have to just hang out for about 20 minutes. There'll still be some things in there for you. Well, I'm going to make a few things for you to do, but we're going to go over the very basics. Not how to hold sticks, that stuff's all on YouTube, right? We're going to go over the basics of setting up for efficient and effective practice. So the last 15 minutes, probably the beginners are going to fall out of that bit because I'm going to be playing stuff on this snare drum, and I'm going to see if you guys can kind of hang with this. So we're going to call it the drum hang or drum aerobics or something along those lines. So make sure you got your sticks for that. As I said, you can comment in the feed. So anyone's got anything they want to chat about now, someone just type something there now so I know it's coming up on my screen. Dusty, nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Suggs is in there. Matt's in there over on YouTube. So wicked. Right, let's get started then. Right, for these lessons, I'm going to have to make an assumption that you can read music. Does it matter if you can't? Not particularly, right? So a little secret is, well, not a secret, but when I went to March DCI, I went twice and I taught out there once. Well, the first time I went, I marched with the Blue Devils, and when I got there, I could hardly read music at all. And everybody there could read music, apart from me. And so I'd got all the way to that level to be able to go out to elite drum corps by just learning parafashion. And so parafashion means I play something, you listen, and you play it. Now, I could sort of read music a little bit. I can make it out, but not to the level that's expected these days. You do need to learn to read music. I'm thinking about doing some stuff on the channel, how to read music. But the notation's on the screen, right? So today, we're going to be looking at this Blue Devils exercise as a first exercise. And I'll explain why we're doing that in one moment. But you will need to be able to at least follow your way through it. So it might mean for some of you, you're going to have to rewind this and watch it again after the lesson. The lessons after they're done today will be left on Facebook and on YouTube for you to check out. So, but before this, there's something that we've missed out, or I've missed out, right? What you need to be able to get the most out of your playing, or what do you need to get the most out of your playing? Well, this is the bit that a lot of people miss out on. So the first thing you need is sticks and a pad, all right? So I've got a pad here. I thought I'd forgot my sticks then. That'd have been awful, wouldn't it? Someone type something in the feed, man. I've got nothing popping up on my screen. I want to make sure you guys are all still there. So, sticks and pad. Right, so you need a pad of any sort, right? Don't buy one of those little pads that's about 3 inches wide, right? Get something that's about 12 inches. It's going to be the size of a drum. We're going to be doing stuff that moves around. I'm endorsed by Vic Firth. So the stuff I use is Vic Firth. It doesn't have to be Vic Firth, right? Stag sell these for like 12 quid, and I'm sure someone will sell them for £500, all right? Whatever you can afford, get yourself a practice pad. You need some drum corps sticks, so some big heavy sticks. These are Vic Firth Ralph Hardemans. Good stick. Any stick will do though, as long as it's a drum corps stick. The other thing that we're going to talk about is stands. Mark, how you doing? Okay, right. Appreciate you guys typing something. So Mark, so stand, right? To get, how can I explain this? To improve at the most efficient way, you need to practice the most efficient way. So that's what this first little talk's about. So I need you to be playing standing up. So you need to get yourself a stand or a table that just happens to be the perfect height for you. Now, snare drum stands for kits, drum kits, they're no good unless you put them on top of something else because they're too small. You're going to need to get yourself a marching snare drum stand, and you need to practice standing up, right? I did 90% of my learning sat down on my sofa playing. Now, if you take a picture of yourself when you're sat on your sofa, you've got the worst position and everything. So if we're going to march in a drum line and we're going to stand up, let's practice like that. So try and get yourself a stand, all right? Metronome, right? We definitely need the metronome. The metronome that I use, and this is the stand, you might go, nah, I ain't getting a stand, right? You need a metronome, right? There's no way you're going to be able to improve that metronome. I use this one here, which is just called Pro Metronome. I don't endorse it or anything like that. It costs £2-3 for the Pro version. You probably don't need the Pro version. They've got it on iPhone or on Android. And we're going to be using this a lot. So if you get the same metronome as me, it might help. I'm not bothered though, right? Just get a metronome. Okay, Chris Garron Bailey's just dropped in. No, Chris, you haven't missed too much. Grab your pad and sticks. You can rewatch it later anyway. Okay, so metronome. And the final thing is, and this is the one that I know you're going to go, I ain't doing that, but you need to do it if you want to get better, is a mirror. You need a mirror all the time when you're practicing. Now, the thing that's going to get you better, the whole thing that we're really teaching today is this concept of you play something, then you get feedback, and you change whatever you need to change, then you play it, then you get feedback, you change what you need to change. Now, at the highest level of drum corps, the way that happens is the drumline play it, the instructor tells them what to do, they try it again, drumline's instructor tells them what to do. That doesn't happen when you stood at home. What you need is a mirror so you can see yourself exactly what's going on. So go and get in that 2-hour queue at IKEA, get yourself a nice big mirror and place it somewhere when you're going to practice, right? If there's no chance your missus or your mum or dad or whoever's going to let you have a mirror, get your iPad or something like that in front of you and always record you. I'm wearing a black t-shirt today, and I'm wearing it purposely. One, because all my t-shirts are black, but two, because what I need is to be able to see exactly where the sticks are. So when I'm playing, I can tell whether they're the same height, different heights, whether I've got good technique and bad technique. Okay, right, last thing before I get you doing some drumming, all right? So Chris is on it. Mirror for the win. Tim Dar, yeah. Tim, you know it, don't you? Right? A mirror is, honestly, so Tim's marched at the highest level, so this man knows what he's talking about. Honestly, the mirror, I cannot explain how important that is for you to practice, right? I'm in my drum studio now. It's not necessarily a marching drum studio, right? It's more set up for my drum kits, but around my drum kits I've got mirrors. Now people think it's because I like doing my hair, but it's not, honestly. It's for my technique. So first thing we've got to make sure that we all do before we even touch a drum is set position. What's set position? All set position is, it's the position that we stand in before we play. Now the reason it's so important is whatever position I stand in when I play is how everyone's going to see me, and the position I'm going to go back to all the time. So set position for drum corps tends to be something that looks a little bit like this. Now what am I analysing here to see if this is right? Well, I want to be about an inch off the head. Here. My right hand's shaking. I tell you what, I don't think it's down to nerves. I think it's down to old age. So I want to be here, about an inch off the head. Now, the sticks want to have an angle. Now, when you're in a drum line, a marching drum line, the instructor kind of gets to choose the technique. So some marching instructors will say, right, I want you all to have your arms like this. Another one will go, I want you to all have your arms in like this. It almost doesn't matter. It's just that everyone's got to look the same. When you get judged, the judge can't say to a line, this is good, this is bad. It's just that some guys are doing this, some guys are not doing this. Now, for me, I go with whatever's the most comfortable, right? If I'm going to play drums, I don't want to be uncomfortable. A long time ago, when Sunrisers used to go, back in the day before I joined, they used to make the snare drums do this. Now, it was great because it was easy to see if someone was doing it wrong. Ain't good for your shoulder, though, is it? Or back. So all I do is put my hands by my sides, bring my arms up like this, and see where they sit in front of me. So from the side, you can see that I've got that 90-degree would be straight, and I'm just down a little bit. So I'm in this kind of position here. Look. Now, we're not going to harp too much about this. The big take I want you to get today, especially younger guys, is that the set position isn't this. So when you play, you don't go back to this position. The set position is somewhere down here. Right, let's get some actual playing then, right? That's what you guys have really come from. So, drumming in general is quite easy, right? It really is. It's broken down into probably, I would say, 4 things, right? Single strokes. So either one-handed single strokes or two-handed single strokes, right? If you've mastered that, that's one of the 4 ticked off, right? Double strokes. So we're playing a double with 2 hands. While we play 4 double. Now it could be quick doubles, or it could be slow doubles. Could even be closed, all right? That can come in the same category. So rolls, all in that same category, right? We've got flams. So that's our 3rd category. And then the 4th one, which I kind of shoehorn in there, is accents and taps. So that means louds and quiets. Or if we're playing hand to hand. So with these 4 things, if you can master those 4 things, which ain't that many, is it? Right? You think about playing football or something like that. There's about 1 billion things you've got to master, right? For us drummers, there's 4 things, 4 departments. So when you check out a drum line, if we talk about DCI, if you go and watch DCI, and you go and watch the warm-up before finals or quarterfinals, there's 12 drum lines warming up or 50 drum lines, they all pretty much go through the same thing. All their exercises are created and based off of these 4 principles I just mentioned, all of them. Now, sometimes you'll make exercises just to show off, right? But 90% of the time, they're based on this. The first exercise, so we're going to cover some of those today. The first exercise then that I'm going to get you doing is the first exercise that every drummer in the whole world does, which is 8 on a hand. Now, why is it? It's the dullest exercise in the world, right? So we play 8 with this hand, in the set position, then 8 with the other hand, then 8 with this hand. Now, why do we do 8s? Right, 1, it's a great way of getting this set position correct. So when my right hand's playing, my left hand is in its set position there. Also, I can check everyone's technique. It gets a bit of blood flowing. And it's easy, right? If your mum comes in now and watches this and grabs your stick, she could do 8 on a hand, right? So it's a simple one to start with. But it is dull as anything, isn't it, right? So the thing with 8 on a hand is it's boring. Now, to be in a drum core at the highest level, which is what we're going to talk about in these lessons, you need to be able to concentrate for long periods of time, and that takes training. So you've got to teach yourself to be able to concentrate. And you talk about people going into the zone, or you watch videos of DCI lines, and there's a reason that they all look angry, like. It's because they're concentrating at that high level that nothing else matters in the world. They're kind of going into the zone. Now, to do that, you've got to train. So what we're going to talk about today is not 8 on a hand, but the blue does have exercise of it. Now, let's get it up. So you can see on there, look, we've got an exercise there. Blue doubles 8s. Well, they're in odd time sequences for starters, and I've got a little video of it. Let's find the video. So let me know if you can hear the sound on this. Okay, do you hear that? Someone give me a thumbs up if you heard that. That's the only thing with these lessons in here is when I play something over the internet, it doesn't come into my ears, so I have no idea if you actually heard that or not. If you didn't, I'll do it again, and I'll get it so you can hear, all right? But what you could see was they weren't just doing 8, and 8 the other hand, and 8 the other hand, right? They were doing a much more difficult pattern. Now, the reason they've done it is the only way you're going to be able to get through this exercise, the only way, is to concentrate all the way through, because it is really easy to get lost. Now, I only learned this exercise a couple of days ago. This wasn't one we did back in the day when I was involved. And so I have to concentrate, which is a nightmare, because I'm trying to think about what I'm going to say to you guys next, right, during it. But it's impossible, right? So that's an art, training that. So let's have a quick look at this, and let's quickly teach you this. So grab your pad, grab your sticks, and we'll have a go at bashing our way through this one. So I'll quickly talk about these, because someone's going to ask. So I did a lesson with Matt the other day, actually. He was on here. And a lot of drummers have a problem with, when they're playing drums, keeping this set position. When you're concentrating on other things and you haven't got a mirror or anything other reference, it's easy to go away from the middle of the drum and start going outwards. And it's a common problem, right? It's not like you... So get yourself a little square of tape, stick it in the middle of the drum, and that'll keep you in that middle section. I'm not really into this whole like played on a 50p and all that kind of thing. You don't have to be completely accurate, but you've got to be like a coffee cup's width in the middle of the drum, all right? Okay, so let's have a quick look at this exercise then. So top line, what have we got? Well, we've got 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Nice and easy, all right? So 12 on each hand in triplets. I would count the weights written on there. Look. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So grab your sticks. If you haven't got sticks, do it on your leg, and have a go just playing that. So we got first two lines. All of 8 is just that. So 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 stop. Now, for those guys who've already got a mirror, who want to sort of improve right away, the biggest thing in this exercise is the 12th in this case. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. That last note, see how I go back into the set position? 4 triplet, and then the left hand goes and plays. My right hand stays in that position. When you're a beginner, you're not going to do that. You're going to be like this. You're going to start in the right position. You're going to go 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and my left hand's playing, so my right hand forgets. And it comes up here, and then my right hand plays, and my left hand forgets. Right, get yourself back in that position. So the last note is what we call a downstroke, and it just stays in the right position while the left hand plays. So just make sure you've got that constant position, all right? That nice little triangle shape here. Let's try it once more. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 stop. Right, we could zone out on that, couldn't we? Think what we're having for dinner or whatever. So that's the easy part, right? All of a sudden then, if we have a look at B, Quick question, is that big enough for you guys to see? I can make it a little bit bigger if you need. So B, what have we got? Well, we've got a bar 3/4, and then another bar 3/4, and then a bar 2/4. Well, what that means is we're going to play 9 on a hand, and then 6 at the end. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that's not the way that they want to count it. You want to feel it like 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and end. Let's try that a little bit slower. So 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and stop. Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and stop. Right, so that same thing. So underneath where it says B happens then off the left hand. So off the left hand, 9, 9, 6, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and stop. Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and stop. Okay, cool. Chris just said make it a bit bigger. You need your glasses, Chris, don't you? Right, let's see if I can do that. Okay, I can make it a little bit big like that. Let's see if that works for you. So we're letter B. Is that better? So any guys who are just dropping in. So this is 6-week Marching Drummers Challenge. Now, we're going to be learning over the next 6 weeks as much as we can to improve our drumming. Today we're starting off with the basics of how to set up proficiency effectively, efficiently for practice. So we're doing the basics, and we're going to be developing over the next 6 weeks from simple stuff to as difficult as we can take you guys, all right? So we're on the Blue Devils exercise at the moment, and we're about to do B, second line of it. All right, so let's play the whole of B now, right? So it's going to go 9, 9, 6, 9, 9, 6. Or really, I'm thinking of a bar 3, bar 3, bar 2, bar 3, bar 2, bar. Let's try it. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and change. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and stop. So that's all of that. Now I'm pushing through this fast, right? You can come back and watch this. Like I said, these lessons will be left on Facebook afterwards and YouTube, so you can come back and watch this. Right, this is where it's going to get difficult, right? So this bar, this is where you might need your glasses, Chris, right? The first bar, we've got the 3 still, but it swaps 1 and 2 and on the of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So really we're playing 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can cheat and do that, but I'm promising you now, the cheating method doesn't work, right? You've got to be able to feel the downbeat this. So really we want to be for counting 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, or 1 and 2 and If you want to count 3s, the easiest method, then go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That third note, all right? So I try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm going to get you to do this with the metronome so that I know that you've got this and you know you've got it. My metronome's going to be about 80 beats per minute. Let me just get this so you can hear it. How's everyone coping anyway with this lockdown? You getting more drumming in? As some people I know I haven't drummed for a while. It's awesome to see you back. Chris Bailey used to be an awesome drummer. How long ago, Chris? Long time. It's awesome to see some of you guys.
2 and dot 3 and dot 4 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 4.
That's quite loud in my headphones. Let me know if that's too loud for you.
Hopefully
Hopefully you can hear some funny guy.
1 and
Going 1 and 2 and 3 and well, we're going to use him. What I need to do is I need to set my metronome to a bar of 3, 4. So on here I just click. I set the time signature from 4, 4 down to 3, 4.
1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and dot 3 and dot 1 and dot 2 and.
Okay, so what happens is you play that pattern 1 and 2 and 3 and twice, 1 and 2 and 3 and then there's a bar 2 at the end, 1 and 2 and all with one hand. So if I talk you through that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and that's it. Okay, Jesse's just said it's a bit loud, right? I'll take a bit of the power off that. Yeah, Tim. So it's given a lot of people. Tim just said it's giving them a chance to drum. I think a lot of people have actually gone back and found things that they haven't done for a long time, like drumming. It's awesome in some ways. Obviously the virus is a nightmare, but drumming's been cool. Right, so let me talk that through. So we've got 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a. Okay, so I'm going to slow it down a little bit. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a stop. And again, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a stop. Now, if you guys are beginners in this and you're struggling a bit, you see on the line up here, I've made some red. So you've got some in black, some in red. Well, that's basically what you want to be reading. So literally just read along here. 1 and 2 and 3 and the left hands are all in red, all right? Now the bottom line then, this very last line here, it's exactly the same thing. So it's the same counting. Everything's exactly the same. Just we're starting with the left hand. So now we'll be doing the 5 with the left. 1 and 2 and then 3 and with the right, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and with the right, and then 1 and 2 and end, and that's the whole thing. Now I'm going to push forward with this, right? I know some of you guys will be a bit like, well, I haven't quite got that yet, and some of you guys will be like, this is easy. If you haven't got it yet, don't worry, right? I wouldn't have learned it that quick either, right? Come back and watch this lesson in an hour's time, or just get the music from the group, the Marching Drummers Lounge group. I'll put that up on there after the lesson. Go in there, get the music, sit and spend a bit of time just making sure that you can play that, all right? So now you've got an idea of what's going on, even if you haven't 100% got it. Let's quickly watch these guys playing it again. Okay, so let's have a go then at playing the whole thing. Now I know that's tiny, and I know that you're going to need the notation, right? But I want you to see it so I can talk it through so you know exactly what's going to be going on. Now with this particular exercise, hopefully you can get the idea now. There's no way that you're going to be able to play this without concentrating. Even after playing it like they are, they're on tour for what, 3-4 months. After 4 months, you're still going to screw up if you're not concentrating the whole time. And that's the skill they're trying to teach. Those guys there can all play this without any practice needed. They're trying to work on their ability to concentrate so that when they do a show that they're not going to make a single mistake over those 12 minutes. Right, let's try it once all the way through, right? With a metronome then, what you need to do now is you can't have it counting to 3, you can't have it counting to 4 because it's just going to screw everything up. So with my metronome, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to 4/4, I'm going to set it to count triplets, but I'm going to talk up. I need to give that guy a name, don't I? Tony, I'm going to call him. So I switch Tony off, and we'll just have this count going on. Okay, is that a little bit quieter? I lost sound, okay. Okay, right, I know where you lost sound. Okay, no worries. That's my fault. Okay, but you can hear me though, yeah? Okay, I'll put that video on again. I just realised you lost sound. Right, so here we go. If that's too loud, just do a big loud again on the screen so I know, right? So whole exercise, it's going to be quite loud, right? Because I want you to be able to hear it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, start again. Not because I messed up, because I just realised you haven't got the notation. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, it's going to be 4, 3, 4. Left, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3. I can't speak about it. So 3's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2's 2. Change. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Ending. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stop. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Less. B. 1, 2, 3. C. And that's the end. So it's not, you know, it's not the most awesome thing you're ever going to show someone, is it? Your friends ain't going to go around. You're going to go, oh, you've been learning drumming. Yeah, check this out. But it's not for that, right? It's so that we get good at these single strokes. Now we can do it quick, and so on and so forth, right? But the main idea is that we're just working these single strokes. The idea is eventually that then that will turn into two-ended patterns. Now, what a lot of DCI lines would do now, or drum corps lines would do now, is they'd have that as their first exercise. They'd play that for 2, 3, 4, maybe 20 minutes, right? The second exercise would be something using both hands, something like this. Now, I've got an exercise on the YouTube group already called Stick Control. So get yourself over to the YouTube channel Freestyle Rudiments. So YouTube/Freestyle Rudiments, and in there, there's an exercise already there. You can see it called Stick Control. Stick Control will be the next exercise, logical exercise to do after that, right? But I'm not going to do that today. We ain't got time for that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about double strokes. So we've done some singles. Next thing we want to work on is something that's going to give us these rolls. Now, to get a nice strong roll, what is a good roll, right? So a good roll is when both sticks are evenly playing the same amount of volume, not, or, so we want it so it's nice and even, same height, and we want the doubles to both be as strong as each other. So if I play a double like this, they're all the same volume, right? If I play it like this, then I lose all of the power of every second double, and then my roll would sound like this. So we want to get that nice powerful roll. Now to do that, all we do with the same with everything with drums, we figure out what both hands are doing. So in this case, digga 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 digga, doubles. And we just figure out what one hand's doing. I was doing that, so I sit and practice that. Right, now there's an exercise which has been around for like probably as long as drumsticks have been around, called double beat, triple beat. Now the reason it's been around this long is because it just works. Right, so we're going to start on that. The more advanced guys who are watching this now, I'll give you something to do in this in one moment, all right? And then towards the end, I'm going to give you a lot more to do, right? Just bear with this for one more exercise. So the double beat, triple beat exercise. If you can read, awesome. If not, then you'll be able to learn this para fashion, all right? So I'll just be able to play it, and you'll be able to copy along. So we've got this, look. So I've got 1 E, a 2, and a E, and 4, and, or double, 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 tap, tap, double, 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 tap, tap. Again, I know I keep pushing it, but the YouTube channel has got this exercise on there, broken down exactly how to play it, all right? So I'm going to push through this quite quick. So we've got so what are we looking for in that? Well, what I mentioned a moment ago, we want two doubles to be the same volume. But the other thing is, you see how my stick's bouncing back up afterwards? The way we get fast on a drum is momentum. Like if I try and play double stroke roll from here, with no momentum, it's hard. If I lift up and then play it, it's a bit easier. So after each one of those doubles, we need to lift up. So if you just do that with a stick, so play your doubles, put another stick behind it, and that'll give you that volume on that third note. Left, you can do the same thing. Okay, so the first part is doubles. Double, 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 tap, tap, double, 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 tap, tap. Again, I'm looking for my set position, look. My set position, my right hand now. Right, then we change to threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, tap, tap. What's threes got to do with double strokes? Well, if you can play threes quick and well and good and with good solid technique, twos then are easy. So the idea of this is you kind of overtrain. You're practicing threes, so you can go and play threes, then the doubles are easy, right? With the threes, what we're doing is we're going for the same sort of thing. We're trying to get three notes that are similar volume. As I get faster, you might see that the first one's got slightly more volume because he's starting from up here, and the next two are only allowed to come back to about here. So there might be a tiny change in the volume. That's not a problem, all right? What we're going through this, by the way. So I've got obviously a shot from above here. So if anyone at any point's like, I need to see what's going on from above, just say. And if you type it in the feed at the moment, it'll come up on the screen, and I'll do my best to answer any questions. So if you have any questions at any point, like what's going on with your left hand, what's going on with this, that, and the other, type it in, and I'll answer it, or there'll be some guys in there who'll answer it for you. All right. So feel free to answer questions, guys, if you already know, and you can help people out. So the doubles then with this one, if I play the 3, sorry, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 tap tap 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 tap tap 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 tap tap 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 tap tap. So again with the 3s, we're looking at the 1 2 3 up 1 2 3 up 1 2 3 up 1 2 3 up 1 2 3. So we want to get that momentum. Now at the moment, if you're a beginner, you can only go. That's fine. As long as you're getting that set position. That was me, right? I didn't start age 12 and go, can I have a go, guys? You know, I was useless, right? So everyone starts at the same spot, right? I'm moving through this quick today because I'm wary that I've got a lot of people watching here at all the different levels, right? So the exercise then, double beat. Let's play it once all the way through. Right, there's one last thing I need to add to that actually. So how do I know that I'm playing it right? This exercise came over, there's a bit of a story for you, right? So this exercise came over from the States, I reckon in about the late 80s. So in the late 80s in DC UK, which is like the UK drum course scene, people started going out to America, which is the elite scene, and seeing the drum lines warm up and everyone warm up, and then they'd come back. So they'd gone on their holiday for a few weeks, come back, and then the exercise they saw them do, they'd have on a grainy video camera, and the drum lines in the UK would copy. And that was great, right? Everyone got a little bit better. But the problem was, when they brought those exercises back, before they'd marched over there, so it was probably earlier than that, but when they brought them back, they didn't really know why they were doing those exercises. They just knew they saw cadets do this exercise. Which is that exercise you've just seen there, but done really quick. So that means we have to do it in England. And the problem is by missing the reason behind doing it, everyone thought you had to play it this fast. When I first learned this exercise, I learned it literally like this. And it was just like, it wasn't I was placing those notes, it was just like noise, 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 noise. What you've got to understand is, yeah, they did do that because they were practicing ready for when they were playing some rolls in their show that were like super fast rolls. But all those players in that line at some point had sat and gone, with perfect interpretation. So for you young guys on here, or less experienced, what's interpretation? Well, if you take 4 notes and you place them out perfectly, right, using whatever method you can, a metronome is pretty good at that. If you hit exactly over the top of those notes, your interpretation is what we call perfect, right? If one of your notes is not quite in line, but he's just off to the side, then that's what we would call dirt, right, in drum lines, because 2 people would be playing, you'd get a different sound. So to fix that at home, 16th notes, 80 beats per minute. I'm over the top of those notes, look. So 1 E, a 2, and a E, and 4, and 1 E, a 2, and a E, and 4, and 1 E, a 2, and a E, and 4, and the 3s. So that's the exercise I need you to practice, right? Now with this particular one, I might do that again a little bit later when we do the demo, the kind of workout, but I'm not going to get you guys to play that anymore at the moment. We're going to move to the next one, which I'm going to get you to play. So with that particular one then, we practice one hand parts. What's it lead to next? Double stroke. So the next thing we do is a double stroke exercise. Now again, we're going to skip one here because I want to get onto the flams today. We're going to come back to double strokes and do a whole session on techniques for double strokes. So the double stroke exercise that often people would learn, chicken and a roll, right? Everyone knows that one. So it goes like this. Chicken and, so it's like chicken and a roll, chicken and a roll, chicken and a chicken and a roll, roll. Well, really we're looking at the letter A there. We want to interpret that a little bit better. So we want 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So I'm placing those notes quite particularly. So that's the first part, yeah? 1 E and a, 1 E and a. And then the last part of that goes 1 E and a, 2 E and a. And that's the whole exercise, all right? So we get to 3, 4. 1 E and a, 1 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Same again. 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a, 1 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. So where does the set position come into this exercise? Well, the technique, the position you play when you've got good technique, right, is important, but it's more about that last note. We want the last note. It's funny, right? So we used to do this thing in England called Pontins, and it was basically a bit like this, right? There was loads of drummers from all around the country. It was awesome, actually. We'd come to one place, and some of the more experienced instructors around the country would teach them. And every time we do exercises, drummers would all do this at the end. They'd always like end with a massive rim shot. And I was teaching someone yesterday, and he's got no drum corps experience, right? He's an awesome drummer. And he did the same. So it must just be like a human thing of like, we've got to the end, and it's like, bang, have it. Right, but which is fine, right? I used to do the same as well, right? But what I want you to think about, I want you to change that. I want you to think about that at the end. The last note is just set position again. So we're going to go. So we're just straight back to that position. So last note, straight back to position. Good. Okay, right. So you can see that exercise there, letter A. We do it twice, and that's the exercise, right? We can do it at different tempos. I can't do it all in this lesson, right? There's just too much time to be taken. We'll do a lesson just on rolls, right? I promise you that. I need to quickly explain this, and then we'll get on to the last part of the lesson. So B, we've got here, look, the same exercise. Now, why have I got traditional notation? Well, if you talk to guys who are more military-based than drum corps, or you talk to guys who are like old-school kit players, you're going to find that they talk a lot more about things like 9-stroke rolls and 17-stroke rolls. Now, the way that rolls are played in some other types of drumming, like your fife drumming and your traditional drumming and that kind of stuff, is slightly different as well. It might be closed rolls, so they might play it as this, like a press roll, pressing into the drum. Now, for us in the drum corps scene, that does happen, right? Sometimes we do press rolls, right? But we're trying to get 6, 7, 8, 9 people all to sound the same, and we're judged on how well they sound the same. So when we're playing something like, we need to have a reference to every single one of those notes. So rather than thinking of it as the name, chicken and a roll, chicken and a roll, we need to be thinking of those numbers. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Right? But though, so you understand a little bit of this stuff, if someone says, can you play 17-stroke roll? Yeah, you probably can already. It's just 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3. Right? We just don't necessarily think of it as a 17-stroke roll. For you guys who play kit out there, that's very much the kit terminology as well. So if you start to do some of the exams like Guildhall and stuff like that, they very much still talk about 17-stroke rolls. I'm not sure. Some of you other guys who did drum corps, any of the older guys, did you come across that terminology? I don't think when I marched a long time ago now, but I don't think that we hardly ever called things 17-stroke rolls and 9-stroke rolls. It was just, it sounds like this, and off we go. Okay, any questions at the moment on anything? There's a bit of a delay when I ask for questions, all right, between you typing and it coming up on my screen. That's something you'll have to get used to through these lessons. I'll quickly let anybody know who's just dropped in what's going on, and then we're going to do flams, all right? This is where the fun stuff starts. So, website, YouTube, right? If you've just dropped in, we've got a YouTube channel, Freestyle Rudiments. Get yourself over there. All the lessons that you probably want to ask about technique and stuff like that, get yourself in there, because there's loads. That's why I'm going to put the lessons that need a bit more time and a bit more re-watching by you. So you need to be able to watch it, pause it, and go, right, let me try that, watch a bit more and pause it. That's where those lessons are going to go. If we go to Facebook, get yourselves onto Marching Drummers Lounge, because on there we've got a group. Right now it's a closed group, so you've got to click that you want to be in the group, and it's a 6-week marching challenge group, which is what this lesson is all about today. We're going to do 6 weeks worth of drum corps lessons. There's going to be lessons, live lessons like this. There's going to be YouTube lessons. There's going to be lessons only in that group, so specific stuff in that group. I might try some challenges as well, see if we can get some cool drum corps exercises, get people playing them. I want to do some stick trick stuff as well, definitely. So my thing at the moment is the reason I got back into drumming again was not because I'm back involved with drum corps. It's because I'm in something called percussion theatre, which is freestyle drummers, which is where we play on the same drums as drum corps. We do play some drum corps stuff. But it's very much about the aesthetics, so how it looks. So we're doing lots of stick tricks and running around the drums and kind of bouncing around and dancing and having a bit of fun. And so we're going to talk about some of that. And we've got some interviews coming up with some guys who are some big name guys from DCI and the States, some American guys. I'd like to get some Europeans as well, and I'd like to get some guys from some other genres. So maybe some pipe band guys or something like that. We'll see. Let's see if we can put the feelers out for that. And the discussion. The big one for me is discussion. Get yourself in that group, because that's where everyone's going to chat, and that's where people are going to make contacts. Ultimately, it's a small community at the moment. Anyone that plays on a marching drum. Let's all together build this up and make it a much bigger community. It'd be so much better, wouldn't it, if everybody in your street, when you said, "Oh, I play a drum corps," they're like, "Oh, cool, I know what that is," rather than, "What's that?" And then you have to say, "Oh, don't worry." Right. So let's see if we can push that. Okay, flams, right? Flam. Right, I'll give you the sound this time. So what I'd really like as well from you guys is a bit of feedback. Maybe not now because I can't see everything now, right? But Enrico, thank you, man. Appreciate you saying nice job. Anybody about the pace of the lessons or what you'd like to learn? So if you can put that kind of stuff in the Marching Drummers Lounge group, that'd be awesome. So if you say certain things you're like, "Oh, I'd really like to know about this. I already knew this and I knew that." Put those questions in there. Okay, let's get into this flams. Right, Carolina Crown. Right, Carolina Crown used to be a small drum corps actually. They used to be a bit of a feeder corps for the other corps, so they would get all their best members disappear off the top 2, 3, 4 corps. Now they're right up there. So their drum line, they've got a nice little flam exercise, which is perfect for what we're going to do today. So let's have a quick look at that. Hopefully you'll have sound this time. Not that one. Okay, you get sound that time? Someone let me know. I'll put it on once more. Wicked. Okay. Got sound. Awesome. Right. Andrew Dean, not on Facebook. Mate, elaborate on that a little bit more. I don't know what you mean by not on Facebook. That's yeah, elaborate on that, man. Just so I know what you mean. Maybe there's no sound on Facebook. Maybe that's what the problem is. Don't know. Okay, let me know anyway. Others seem to have the sound. Anyway, Pat Poper, how you doing, man? Yeah, we got sound. I hope you're getting sticks out again. Are you getting them out again? Legend, Jump Corps legend. Be cool to get some old boys out again, playing again. Maybe we should do a get together at some point in the future. Get some drums out. I'm on Facebook with sound. Okay, wicked. Right. I've lost my way. So, flams. Okay, so you guys, appreciate you hanging in here, right? I said it was going to be a lot of talk in this first lesson, right? So keep hanging in there, right? So we spoke about, first of all, John Mine's going to do exercises where they play single strokes, maybe 8 on a hand. But that's easy. Right, maybe a more difficult one, right? Like the Blue Devils did, which we showed you, right? Then off that, they're going to do some sort of double beat exercise, right? It might not be the one I've done. It might be a crazy. One, but it's still based around those ideas. Then they might do something with 2 hands. So they might do something like stick controller. They might have a particular exercise. They might have a paradiddle one suddenly thrown in there, right? Which we'll come on to at some point, right? But again, that's singles and doubles, right? So that relates to the 2 so far. The next thing that they're going to do, almost certainly, is rolls. There might be one diddle, some kind of roll exercise, or it might be lots of like long. Right, and finally, I've missed out accent taps, right? We'll come back to that next time. We're going to do a flam exercise. Now, the flam exercise for most drummers is where it actually gets cool, when you actually start to think, yeah, this is why I started drumming, this cool kind of flam stuff. So the exercise I just showed you there, it goes like this. I'm going to do it slow, actually, to begin with, so we get. Now, the first line and the second line are the same. Let's make that big so that my man Chris can see. Or anybody else who's watching on a mobile phone. I bet it's tiny on a mobile phone. So what have we got there? We've got 5/8, right? So if you're a kit player tuning into this the first time, you're going like, how are they playing 5/8? That's well hard on kit. It's hard on kit, isn't it? But it ain't hard on marching drums, because most of the stuff we do in marching drums is a bit like playing a tune Bach or someone like that, they write a tune and then they just write a melody. There's a tune and you can kind of hum it back. For kit players, it's hard because we're having to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to figure out where we are. This exercise is easy, right? All we're doing is thinking of 16th notes and we're playing this pattern here. So I should say one thing. So it's 3 rudiments you need to be able to do this, right? You need to be able to do flam accents, which are these. If you can't do those, right, just hang out with this. That's something you need to practice, right? Hand-to-hand flams. Remember, the notation is going to be on the group afterwards, so you can go and learn it afterwards. And flam taps. Now, the flam taps, weirdly, they play them quiet in this one. I feel them a bit bigger, right? But they play it quiet, right? Carolina Crowns will copy them. So, first bar, we get 1, 2, bat, bat. Again, 1, 2, bat, bat. Now, if I loop that around twice, that's the first 2 bars. 1, 2, bat, bat. 1, 2, bat, bat. Right? Now, we all recognise that. It's an old Blue Devils exercise, isn't it? This one here is what I call the turnaround, though. So then they go 1, 2, flam tap, flam tap. And again, 1, 2, flam tap, flam tap. And then the turnaround is we play a tap with the right hand and then a left-handed triplet. I say triplet like it's a 4-note pattern, but it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's talk in rudiments here, right? So we've got flam accent, flam accent, flam, flam, right? That's letter A, right? We repeat it. Flam accent, flam accent, flam. Then we play 2 flam accents. Like we're going to play it again, but we trick them, and instead we do 2 flam taps, and then we do that little 4 at the end. And then guess what the next bar is? It's the start again. So if we call that like part 1 and part 2, part 1 is this. Part 1 again. Then part 2. Then part 1. Now some of you might just turn the sound down a little bit and try this, right? But to practice it, what I would do is, again, I put my metronome on, I'd have it count 16th notes, so I can lock exactly straight in with it. One moment, I've lost my sound because I gave you sound for the old Crown video. Right, here we go. So, hopefully that volume's all right now, let me know. So that's quite quick, right? I'll do it because it's there now. 1, 2... Then it repeats, right? So let's slow that down so that everyone can hang, and then don't forget, we're going to do the workout in a minute, the full demo of all those exercises. Anyone's got a pad, that's your chance to kind of hang. I'm going to play them. I'm not going to do them crazy fast. I'm going to push you, though. I'm going to push you a lot. So that's your chance to push it, right? So this is your chance just to learn the exercise, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I just did that, didn't I, at the end? Bad habit. Right, whole exercise then. You can't see the second line. Don't worry, because it's the same. So the top line is just played twice, and that's it. Right, we'll go a little faster. So this is the same exercise. I'll count you in at 80 beats per minute. Let's do one fast. Let's do one fast so you get an idea of how it's going to sound, right? So 1 and 2 is this. So the Flam exercise, right, could be some. This is fairly simple. I know some of you would be like, "That's simple," but I promise you, right, this is very simple. Some of the lines are playing some crazy stuff, right? But the reason this one's so good, the reason I want to show you this one, is this one is just a template, right? The template is that you play the same exercise again and again and again, like you can see there, look. But every time you play the flams, they're deleted, they're gone out of there, all the red notes on there, and they're replaced with another rudiment. So when you hang with other players, what you can do is you can just shout out rudiments. So if I play that top one now, and I say, right, let's do a roll instead, like this. So a 9-stroke roll for anyone who's into that, right? So we get... So I now get... Now what I've got to do now is you can't come out of a roll easily with a flam. So what that means is the flam that you see on there, will then be gone. Have I got a roll written on here? Let's have a look. Okay, awesome, I wrote it out. Pat on the back, right? So this is the roll one that we're going to try. Now that one that I've got written in there with the flam there, that's going to have to go because you can't come out of a roll with a flam. I'm sure somebody can, but mere mortals can't. That one's gone. And that one's gone. Same exercise, but as you can see, chugga-da, 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 chugga-da. Let's play it. Was my interp any good? I don't know, do I? Right, so that's why I'm carping light here, to get yourself a metronome and get yourself some mirror. So what I want to be doing here is have my metronome playing, so I know I'm spot on in time with it, and be looking at my mirror, checking all my stick heights. What with this one, we're making sure that we're doing the rolls the same, so we get, or whatever height we're doing it, but it's exactly the same height. So my interp wasn't actually great. I was a tiny bit ahead of the beat, right? But it was close. So let's speed up. Let's start to push it. Okay, now you know what the exercise is then. When you go back and watch Carolina Crime playing it, you can watch a whole different line. Okay, so I want to sum up the first main part of the lesson here then, because we've been doing this for quite a while now, and I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us, right? We've got one more thing to do after this, where I'm going to go through all those exercises you've just done, but I'm going to shout some stuff out, so any guys who know that exercise or have known all these exercises, I'm going to give you some stuff to push you a little bit, and we'll have a little bit of a drum out together, all right? So, a drum hang, we're going to call that, right? So, to sum everything up, so today's lesson has been all about setting up for efficient and effective practice. So, you need to make sure that you've got the sticks, the pad, the stand, or at least the surface where you stood up. We haven't talked about marking time. That's something else you're going to have to think about as well. We'll talk about that at a later date. And you need to have a mirror, right? That's the key one out of that. Metronome. So those are the key takes, right? Get yourself those. Then when you're trying to create an exercise program for your drum line, or if you're in the drum line and you haven't got any exercises, or you just want to practice on your own, like you know, try and copy the stuff that DCI guys are doing, all their exercises are very often anyway going to be based around these concepts: single strokes, double strokes, some flam stuff, and then accents and taps. Accents and taps are just loud and quiet, so that includes all dynamics, so going loud and going quiet. So when you're checking out the lines now, just go on YouTube and start watching them. One of the things that you're going to find as a human, I suppose it is, when you just literally just watch other people do something, if you watch it enough, you learn. And literally, like, how does a baby learn? And why do they always turn out like their mum and dad, right? It's because they're stood around and just staring at them all day, learning and watching stuff. So we learn a lot of stuff like that. So just start as much as you can now. Start checking out drummers who you're into. Might be DCI or drum corps or WGI or whatever else. One thing I will say to you about WGI, so the one time that it's a bit different, for WGI is a little bit more of an artistic thing. And a lot of the drummers that they get there are already a very high level. So the warm-up books that you see them guys doing, so the parking lot and that kind of stuff, often they're, rather than doing stuff like we're talking about here where they play 8 on a hand and stuff like that, they'll still do that at home on their pads. It's almost like a show. It's almost like the show before the show. So they'll have basically a book of stuff that they'll play in the parking lot to show off. So the parking lots out there literally get probably a quarter amount of the people that are in the stadium watching them. So it's a slightly different thing. Have you got any questions about the stuff that we've done so far before we sort of bring this together? Type them in now and I'll sum up this last bit before we do the hang. So YouTube, please go over there, get yourselves on there, subscribe. The numbers mean nothing, right? I'm not bothered if we have 20 followers or 20 million followers, right? That's where the information is going to be. And this is the big one. Get yourself on Facebook, Marching Drummers Lounge. We want to get some chat going on there. We want to get you guys talking about this lesson, other lessons, stuff we've done today. I want to get people networking and getting together. And this is going to go on for about 6 weeks. If you've got any feedback on what you think we should do or shouldn't be doing, give us that, right? We're open to that. It's going to be on a Wednesday evening, very likely. I can't promise every week at the moment, but that's what we're trying for. And on a Saturday at 2 o'clock. And again, get in that group because those times may move a little bit. We've got some interviews lined up already. I'd like to get a few more interviews in there and maybe get some guest people in. I've just got to figure out how that's all going to work across social media. So I'm going to do a workout now, a bit of a demo of all the stuff we've just done and get you guys to hang with me. If you're not up for that, you got to shoot or anything like that, thanks for watching. Much appreciated. If you've liked it, maybe share it, maybe just tag in the name of somebody else who's in your drum line. Something that a lot of drummers don't always get is when you're in a drum line, it's nice to be like big dog in it, like be the best. But what you've got to understand is that your drum line is only as good as your weakest player. So if you're in a line of 3 people now and that guy's good and that guy sucks, you want that guy in this group trying to learn because it's only going to get better when he gets better, all right? Same if you've got 10 people in your line. Okay, got a couple of questions, I think. Good stuff. Will they have less time? Any weekends? Yeah, Jason just said, do they have less time? Do you know what? I don't know because I don't know a lot about that area, WGI. Certainly not as much DCI. But Tim, if Tim's still on here, Tim Dahl marched in WGI, so he may be able to answer that. I would certainly think they just do weekends, WGI. So the question was, do they have less time than the drum corps? So the drum corps move in often and they get to drum together for at least a month, some of them for 2, 3, 4 months. So they have a lot of time to do these sort of exercises. The WGI guys come in for a short space of time before the season starts. Jason said, who are we getting to talk? I can't tell you, right? But I'll tell you that one of them was in those videos that we watched earlier. He's good. He's really good. I'm going to try and get some educators in as well, right? But we'll see. We'll see how that works. Yeah, Rhythm X came over and mentioned that once. Yeah, very. Jason, get this question in the group, and see if some people come in the group and answer that question because I don't know the answer to that. But I would imagine they don't get anywhere near as much time. Is that a V-neck? Yeah, this is a V-neck T-shirt, and that's why I almost put on a video of Cavaliers because they all were wearing V-necks, which, as you know, is my favourite. Kevin Dearlove. Wicked. Right, let's do a bit of a workout. So grab your pads. For those guys who are hanging, I'm going to place through some exercises. My hands aren't quite where I want them yet. So this 6 weeks is about me getting my hands going as well. All right. So let's start with, we'll start with just standard 8s so that everyone can hang with this. Okay, we're going to play as quiet as can. Here we go, 3, 4. Crescendos. All up. sevens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to do it on the pad because I want to be able to talk when I'm doing this. Right, it's not going to be as loud, but we'll be able to do it together. Right, so let's get into the double beat then. So double what you did. Just join in. So full turn. Jamie, how you doing? Grab your sticks. Again. Okay, we're going to do accented downwards ones like this. Downward. So loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet. And the three's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, if you're a beginner, don't worry about the accents. Nichols wants the heights up. Okay, we're going to do it slower because we're going to do the pull-ups, this type. So every other one is loud. So like quiet, like that, and the three is going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So just the last note's loud, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that's hard. And again. Again. That's hard, isn't it? Right, can we do some rolls? It's a little bit slower for the new guys, alright? So let's do different heights. So full up, that speed. And again. Left hand lead, so play everything the same again, but all off your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Okay, you can play some fast rolls then. Hard. right? Now my hands are going now, right, and getting shattered, right? So what John Mine would do now is they just play some real slow 8s to get the blood, get that lactic acid out your arms. So just slow 8s. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Whoo! And full turn, right? So you're going to hear the turn, legato thrown around. 5, 6, 7, 8. And it just means real loose, relaxing your muscles, just bouncing off that drum. I was quite surprised to see Cadets video yesterday, and they didn't used to pound at all. They were like really big. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, relax. Right, so let's do the Flam then, right? Let's push this a little bit now then. So we've got the... I'm going to put the notation, all right? So if any of you are still learning that exercise, because to be fair, I'm being a bit unfair because I've had 2 days to learn this. Let's get the exercise up. Well, where are they gone? Come back, Carolina Crown. So we're going to play that exercise, and I'm going to call out some stuff to throw in the gaps. So everywhere you see the red, we're throwing that in, all right? So we've got, and that's the turnaround. Here we go, 2. Once more with Flams. Okay, let's now do Flam taps. 1, 2. Trying to read the feed. Let's do the Flam taps, but full out. Flam tap, Flam tap. Come on. Okay, we're going to roll it. Okay, one for the fighter pilots out there. Right, same thing, but singles. Right, here's a hard one for you guys who can handle it. Right, if you're struggling on these, just do the roll instead. Right, we're going to go 4 singles and 2 doubles, like that. That's one that Crown do. So we get. It's hard, man. Right, Kev's after paradiddles. Right, let's do paradiddles first on their own. Right, so we're going to go. We're going to slow it down a bit, right, so everyone can hang with that. Right, so. No, he's asked for, what's he want? Singles paradiddles. Jeez, this is going to switch your hands. Right, so I'm going to do it slow so you get this, right? So this is the sort of stuff that we would do, right, to kind of have fun and to push each other. So we get, what's he said? Singles paradiddle. So singles, then paradiddle. So, then off the left. That's hard. Okay, fives, egg beaters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You want to get into drum corps these days in the States, you've now got to be able to play 5 lurts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just as well as you can play 4s. Again, I've got a lesson on the YouTube on that, quintuplets, just go and watch that if you want to learn them right. So in this one we're going to go, so I'm playing an egg beater there, 3 rights, 2 lefts, chukada, chukada, egg beat, chukada, chukada. And us geeky drummers would literally just sit there and go through every rudiment that you can possibly think of. Anything can fit in that gap. You can play 4s in that, you can swash 5s in, you can play 6s, you could get 8s in like we were doing with the paradiddles, you could get 9s in. These days they would probably try and do some things with 7s in there, right? So that's it, right? My hands are done. I need to go and have a sit down, right? I'm getting old. So if you've enjoyed this lesson, let me know. I'm interested in any feedback on this little stuff at the end. We had this little crazy idea about doing just doing some things almost aerobics just for drummers. I don't know, it'd be better if it was on Zoom. I'd love it if we could all see each other because then we could all chat and talk. But I don't think that's quite possible yet with the technology. Let's hope that if this virus doesn't do anything else, it's going to lift the technology to allow us to do stuff like that. But I quite enjoyed with percussion theatre. We have a lot of rehearsals where we're basically getting ready for a show. So we're going to play at, I don't know, a football stadium, and so we get together and we've got to go over the music. Now every now and then, once we've done a few shows in a row, we have a rehearsal where it's like, should we just chop out for a while? And it's just doing stuff like this. So let's try this, let's try this. So have you heard this exercise? And it's so much fun. It's so much fun just getting with people together and just trying stuff out. So if you enjoy this part of the lesson, this might be something that we talk about doing. I have no idea exactly what we call it other than like drum aerobics or something, but put your ideas in. Back of Stick Control's got 11 lives and meters. Yeah, I'm quite shocked actually. Stick Control is a book, something I was going to talk about today. I think I'm going to do it in the next lesson though, is old school books that as a drum corps person I discounted that are around that are actually really usable for drum corps. So there's a book by Charlie Wilcoxon, I think it is. Was it 50? It's something like, oh, I got to get the name. It's ancient and it's like a book about snare solos and it's old and it looks irrelevant, but it's actually really good for teaching. It's not on my desktop. Google, come to our rescue, right? So Stick Control is obviously another one. Yeah, All American Drum Alert. Oh, ancient book, probably written in 1803, like it says there. But it's still quite useful actually, especially for teaching. So if you want a book to try and get your rudiments going again, that's one to go and check out, all right? There's also the old Stick Control book, and there's another one. I'm going to put these in the group. So for you guys who are enjoying this, get yourselves in that group, man. Get yourselves in the Marching Drummers Lounge. Get some chat going in there. I want you more experienced guys who are hanging out at the end to be helping out these youngsters. So there's going to be a lot of young guys in there who are just starting, who there's a lot of knowledge around here, especially if you're hanging with that we can really give back to these young ones. Second Stick Control books. Works wonders. Yeah. So the end of Stick Control book has got some stuff in there I didn't even realise were there. To be honest with you, with Stick Control, Jason's on here. He introduced me to Stick Control back when he was teaching me, and it was something I'd never seen, and we just did the first page or something like that, and so I didn't even know. I just discounted the rest of the book even existed, to be honest with you. But at the back of that book, there's all sorts of stuff. I think as well the book. What is it called? I've got it right up here. The Ted Reed book, which again is an ancient book that not many people use. Everything's coming flooding down. This book here has got a load of stuff in the back of there just on accents and taps, which is something we'll come across in the next few weeks. So that book's a cheap book. So if we're looking at patterns like So if you're into all the blue coat stuff they're doing, that's a book to check out. Okay, right, we're going to have to wrap up. Right, so let's tidy up a little bit here. Get yourself a pad, get yourself some sticks, get yourself a stand, and get yourself back here next Saturday. Wednesday night we'll be doing something as well. We're going to see if the Wednesday night ones are going to be likely to be the interviews, but we might split it up so we get kind of advanced stuff on Wednesdays, the other stuff on Saturdays, or vice versa. Give us some feedback because we really appreciate it. I've got a couple of other people who've been helping with this a lot. Suggs is Andy Dean is a big part in making this happen. So if you enjoy it, give him a little pat on the back, and I'll see you next time. So 6 weeks. Let's see how much we can improve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all.